Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back in another video today, and today I'm going to be going over my college football top 25 rankings for week 4 after a really interesting week of football, as you had some, ranked teams play on Thursday and Friday. You had Miami play Thursday. I don't think any ranked teams played Friday. And then you had some really good games Friday. You had number 11 Tennessee lose to Florida. You had number 15 Kansas State lose to Missouri. And then also a really good game between number 18 Colorado and Deion Sanders, and they beat Colorado State in a double overtime, 43-35. And there were some other good games throughout the day as well. Let's get into today's. We'll go over some of the games throughout, going through what I think the top 25 will look like. Going into the new top 25, which gets announced tomorrow around noon. I think it's like around 12:30 to 1 o'clock. You see the new top 25 get announced. But let's go over what I think it will look like. And usually when I do this, I go from 25 to 1. But I thought, let's change it up today. Let's go from 1 to 25. So at 1, I don't have anything changing, and I have Georgia staying at 1. Yes, I know they played bad against, South Carolina. They were down 14-3 going to halftime. They only won the ball game by 10. South Carolina played some really good defense against Georgia's offense. Their offense did struggle today. I know Michigan's been playing some really good football. I don't think it's enough to pass the reigning champions. I think Georgia stays at 1, but I think Michigan stays at 2 as well. Michigan had a good win today. I forgot who they played and how much they won by, but I do know whoever they beat and whoever they played, they kicked their butts. Number 3, I have Texas jumping up from 4 to 3. Texas got a rough win against Wyoming, 31-10, but it was a way better win than the team they would be jumping, Florida State, who nearly lost to Boston College, 31-29. 31-10. 31-29 sounds a lot closer than 31-10, and not only that, but I think Wyoming is a little bit of a better team than Boston College, so I think Texas definitely deserves to jump Florida State, and Texas should be at the number 3, and then at 4 I have Florida State, and then at number 5 I have USC. I would have USC at 4 if they played this week, but they had the bye. So, if USC played this week and whoever they would have played, they would have beat the crap out of them, USC would be in the top 4. But I just don't think it's enough to jump USC over Florida State, even though Florida State almost lost to Boston College 31-29. But I think with USC not playing football this week, I don't think they deserve to jump Florida State, even though Florida State almost lost to Boston College. At 6, I have Ohio State. Just like Michigan, I can't remember who they beat, but they did beat the crap out of whoever they. No, I don't think they had the bye, but they did. Beat the crap out of whoever they beat. At 7, Washington and their quarterback just continue to cruise. I think Washington passes Penn State. They played a really good game today. I can't remember who they played, but I know they played on Peacock. But really good game for Washington today, and their quarterback has been on fire so far. Then at 8, no surprise here, I have Penn State at 8. They won today against Illinois, 30-13. Their quarterback and their team has been great so far this season, and I think that obviously Penn State probably will be at 7. I just think Washington, as of right now, is playing better football than them. At 9, I have Notre Dame. Sam Hartman and their quarterback's playing some great football. They started off to a rough start in their game today, but I think Notre Dame definitely deserves to stay in the top 10. And speaking of the top 10, I have Utah at 10, and then at 11 I have Oregon. At 12 I have LSU after beating Mississippi State. At 13, falling down 3 spots, it gets worse for the Crimson Tide. I have Alabama at 13. They only beat South Florida today by 14 points, with I think 5 minutes or 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Alabama still had 3 points in the ball game. And they're having a quarterback issue right now. They don't know who they're going to start at quarterback. There's a quarterback competition between three quarterbacks. I honestly think, look at, the teams that Alabama was over last week. They were at 10, and the teams that they were over: Utah, Oregon, LSU. I don't think Alabama deserves to be over those teams who have played good football so far this season, had bigger wins. Utah beat Florida, Oregon beat Texas Tech in a big comeback. I think that those teams like Utah, Oregon, and LSU, with the way Alabama's played this season, losing to Texas last week, 34-24, losing to Texas by 10 points, and then I know they won by 14, but nearly lost to South Florida, because if they didn't, clean their stuff up today, they definitely would have lost to South Florida, but they got their crap together and were able to get the win 17-13. And then at 14, I have Oregon State. At 15, I have Ole Miss. At 16, I have Primetime in Colorado after beating Colorado State 43-35 in overtime. At 17, I have Oklahoma. At 18, I have North Carolina. At 19, I have Duke. At 20, I have Miami. They played on Thursday, and they played some team I've never heard of. I remember looking at the name. It was like some 3-word team as well. Their quarterback had a really good game, and I think they won like 48-3, I believe. But they had a really good win on Thursday. I think they stay in the top 20. At 21, I have Washington State. At 22, I have UCLA. And this is where I think it gets interesting. Do you see Kansas State fall out of the top 25? Even though they were a top 15 team, I have Kansas State getting out of the top 25, because I think two teams that deserve to get into the top 25 are Missouri and Florida. I know Florida's already lost one game this season, but Florida lost a game to a team that is in the top 10 in Utah. And they only lost to Utah by 13 points in Utah. So their only losses to a really good team in Florida, a really good team in Utah, which that was a road game for Florida. And honestly, I know Florida has one loss, but I think Florida deserves to be in the top 25. Missouri definitely deserves to be in the top 25. Because they're 3-0. They just knocked off the number 15 team in the country. So Missouri and Florida deserve to, be in the top 25. Then it's about who deserves to get out of the top 25. Is it Tennessee or is it Kansas State? And to me, it's a no-brainer. It's Kansas State. Tennessee needs to stay in the top 25 over Kansas State. Tennessee was ranked 11 compared to Kansas State. Kansas State's 15. I know Kansas State lost in a little bit of a closer game. Tennessee lost by 13 to Florida, while Kansas State lost to 3 by Missouri. But I still think Tennessee is the team that stays in the 25. And I have Missouri at 23 after upsetting Kansas State, number 15 team in the country, 30-27 on a 61-yard game-winning field goal. And then at 24, I have the Florida Gators after upsetting Tennessee at home 29-16. And at 25, I have the team that Florida beat, Tennessee at 25, falling down 14 spots. So that is what I think the top 25 will look like tomorrow. So the two teams that will get knocked out of the top 25 would be Kansas State and Iowa. So that is what I think the top 25 will look like. Definitely could look a little bit different, but we will see. That's for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and peace out.